Okay, good evening, gentlemen. Hope everyone is well. How you both doing?
I'm doing fine. Yesterday was brilliant because we had glorious weather. So it's the start of my year as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, Mike, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, same. I mean, yesterday was kind of freakish. Although I knew it was was going to happen or potentially was going to happen. It's quite a welcome surprise, isn't it? I don't know where that weather came from, but it kind of, I think it was just what the doctor ordered because it really lifted my spirits yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Just to kind of see a bit of warm, people are out. People just seem completely different when the weather's warmer.
Yeah.
A lot more positive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot more kind of social interaction. So it was nice. It's a good day yesterday.
Cool. Nice. So two things before we get into the podcast. As you guys watching can see, El Captain, Mr. Phillips, is not with us today. And apologies for not doing a pod last week. But as we worded it off camera, we had what we see as a family emergency. Winston was taken very ill. He's okay. He's resting up. He's doing okay. I don't think it's our business, if you don't mind me saying, gents. I don't think it's our business to say exactly what's gone on for Win. But there was a lot of panic within us. And we've done what we can. And thankfully, he's doing okay. So we're just giving him time to rest up. And he comes back on when he's well and ready, and he says it's okay for him to come back on. Hence, the names of us has changed from David Fairclough. I'm ignorant. I don't know who this gentleman is, but you guys have told me he was a brilliant super sub, the original. Jamie Redknapp, no comment. And Michael Owen, no comment. So we've kind of, this is in homage really to Winston for not being here this week.
Yeah.
We can now curse if you want and just say he's being lazy. If you want to do that.
Oh, I mean, wait, can we do that?
Too early? Too soon? What do you reckon?
I think we should leave it maybe 30 seconds of. Well, leave.
Okay.
I think he's just really recovering from being kicked out of the Champions League and getting beaten.
Oh wow!
Oh,
you've gone there.
You didn't go there.
You've gone there.
Why did you do that, Anthony?
Wow!
Why did you do that?
Why? Because I felt.
No, you're right. Actually, no, I'm glad you mentioned that. Was that a bottle?
Because if it had been one of us, I'm quite sure.
Oh, he would have ripped us to pieces. He would have ripped us to pieces.
Well,
and Nick, I think that was a bottle. You know?
No! Come on! What, the Champions League? You're saying was a bottle?
I'm saying the defeat to PSG, followed by the defeat to Newcastle in the Carabao.
Yep.
At least one of those was a bottle.
Okay.
And I'm not sure which one it was.
I actually do agree. I am saying that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so so just out of interest, so if we're going to say about the defeats being a bottle, so Arsenal going to Old Trafford and getting what they got at Old Trafford, was that a bottle against Man U in the league, Mike? Don't drink at this point, mate. Just answer the question, please.
No, I'm just trying to take in the magnitude of what you're saying. Coming from a Man U support, are you advocating on behalf of the mighty Reds, Liverpool?
I'm advocating right now for Winston. I think I'm being quite gentle compared to what he would say to you right now, if I'm honest. I'm just asking an outright question. Was it a bottle?
Quite gentle.
I think so.
To cut off air.
No, I mean the mood for Arsenal right now it looks something like that, doesn't it? It looks something like that. I mean,
I like that.
They bottled it.
I like that.
They bottled it.
You've been practicing that, haven't you?
I tell you what, my missus says I'm rubbish with my hands, but that weren't bad, was it?
That weren't
bad. That
was quite good.
That weren't bad.
Comedy timing.
So today's podcast, what we're talking about relocation following on from travel, right?
Yes.
So the first question it's quite an obvious one. We hear lots of people talking about relocating and wanting to go to different countries or different. As near as I've done it is I've moved from London. I got out of London and I've come up basically by the Midlands. That's it.
Thank God for that, by the way.
Yeah, no, it was mainly because of you that I moved, Mike. If I'm honest with you, I just had enough. So, well, the truth hurts sometimes, Anthony. I can't help that. I don't set the rules.
Yeah,
but anyway, a lot of us sometimes people talk about moving to different countries. So let me ask you, Mike, is that something that you would want to do? Move and live in a different country full time?
No,
Okay.
I would have to still have my base here. This is my own personal view. But could I split my time between the UK and somewhere else? 100%. I would like to consider that. Where that is at this moment in time, I don't know. I'm kind of still in that kind of exploring kind of phase. Do you know what I mean? Trying to get to some different places to be able to make that a better informed decision. But later on in life, 100% I'd like to consider that for a few reasons, really. But mainly the weather's a big factor for me. I think as we get older and stuff like that, I think being in warmer climates for me probably would be a bit beneficial. You know, and yeah, I mean, the countries that I have been recently, I've seen a stronger collectiveness now. I was going to say community spirit, but I've seen a stronger collective spirit around people. You know, because sometimes I think in the UK we can live quite an isolated life, and some elderly people are quite often do. Do you know what I mean? So that's something I'm kind of aware of and want to guard against.
Okay. Collective spirit. Sorry.
Well, I don't know. I see, like, when I've been different places and people seem to be out doing more. There's a lot more togetherness. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot more outdoorness. Do you know what I mean? And I see that and I think, well, you know, I know some senior citizens that are close to me, and I don't see that happening.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
What do you think, sir?
I'm the same. I've got it in my diary. I would love to do a 40-60 split, or even a 30-70 split. So 30% having a base here, and the rest of it abroad. I was born. You almost have to be careful to that, because I'm a Londoner, right? And we were talking about off air, and most Londoners definitely could say the same thing. London's not how it used to be, right? And there's lots of factors, the reasons why it's like that. But for me, I have to sort of like examine, do I want to leave the UK, or do I just want to leave London? Because this is probably something, if you talk to some people, I can't stand it, yeah, but if you move out of London, every time I get the same comments. Oh, it's so nice. It was the best thing I ever done. The people are so nice. So in a way, are we talking geographically moving to another country, or just moving out of the area of living? So that might be something to think about as well when we make the thoughts or things. But ideally, yeah, I would love to live abroad. I mean, my other half, she's not from the UK. So for me, when I go over to see the family over there, it's a complete different environment, and I love it. And I love the slower pace. I love the togetherness, like you were saying, David. Right?
Cheers.
I'm only saying it once. It's a different mentality, and it has a lot to do with climate, the culture as well. So for me, I agree with you. I would probably do. Think about probably a 70.
Okay.
Is there a destination that comes to mind that you're thinking about?
Oh, I'd love to move to Greece.
No, reasonably, I want to start looking at flights for you now, really.
Do you know what? Really, right?
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
So well, right? We rehearsed this. Sorry, everybody out there. We try to make this really, really sensible. And this guy here just can't help himself. He cannot help himself.
I'm trying to help you out, Jamie. You said you wanted to go. You can go tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, what you mean you want me out, right?
No. I didn't say that.
Well, if you can pay for everything, I'll go. No problem with that. No problem. Seriously. Off air, let's talk about it.
So the togetherness that you said, it's interesting because we've recently, a few of us went out to Thailand. Mike, we was talking about this. I remember I went to we was all sitting having food right in the restaurant, and went to the shop, a couple of shops down, and heard this guy, London accent, said hello, and the geezer straight away is a bit of a, what would you say, Mike? A bit of a Jack the Lad kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair to say.
And he just embraced me, just grabbed me. Oh, mate, it's so good to see somebody we're both from the same area, South London, same part of South London. And as soon as he embraced me and we let go, I said to him, "Why? Just out of interest, bud, why did it take for us to be on the other side of the planet for this to happen? If we was both walking through Brixton, no chance. What was that about? What's going on here?" So that togetherness, and I suppose the bit that I'm asking, Mike, is me and this gentleman both come from South London, and yet it took for us to be on the other side of the globe for us to do that. And I just I wonder what this... Now, is it because the environment we're raised in? Is it because we're now in that environment and we're seeing how the locals go on, so it's kind of infectious in that way? A bit like a smile is infectious, right? If you smile at somebody, your automatic thing is to smile back. Yeah. That's what we do. And it just... So I brought him to introduce him to you guys, and it was just lovely. Now, if we was all in... If us three was sitting in a bar in Brixton and that, it's never going to happen.
No.
Is that the fault of the environment, or can we take some responsibility there?
Because the two people are the same, but the environment is different. So are we products? That's what I'm saying. Are we products of our environment?
Well, if we was products of our environment, of what we've been raised in, that still wouldn't have happened at the other side of the globe, surely.
But to check that though, in all seriousness, when you were over there, did you see everybody doing mass hugging?
Doing what?
Mass hugging. You know, hello, let me hug you. Hello, let me hug you. Let me hug you. Let me hug you.
Well,
sorry, Mark.
No. That didn't quite happen.
He did it first. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know what to do with that, really.
No. Just move on.
Yeah. Because that could turn left very quick. Yeah. We'll move on from that. But like you said, Anthony, moving out of London is something I did.
Yeah.
When my son was very young, I decided very quickly I'm not raising my son here. I was just on the edge of Clapham and Brixton, and I was like, I'm not raising my son here. So we got out. Was it the best move? It was certainly the best move, I believe, for my son. He's now got this kind of glamorous idea, I think, or he certainly had when he was younger, this glamorous idea of what London was like, because whenever I took him back to London, okay, I would visit to go and see like Winston at his house to see his boys and stuff like that. But mainly it was West End. So all he's seen is Carnaby Street. All he's seen is Oxford and Regent Street. So for him, when he was young, that's London. And it was like, well, no.
But don't we do the same thing in reverse then?
In what way, Mike?
I mean, do we glamorize other countries like Thailand and this and that? You know, going there on vacation is one thing. Living there is another.
Beautiful. Absolutely agree. Yes, I think we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we do as well. Do you know what I mean?
I would say to you, Mike.
Yeah.
See, there's two of you. I can't do this.
No, just focus on.
Yeah, I was. Right, is it confusing?
Well, it's one of them. One of them just really winds me up. The other one,
all right,
work out which that is. But no, I was going to say in that when your wife is not from the UK, right? Mine isn't from the UK, right? And the one thing I can say to you is when mine came over, the first thing she said was she's been coming to UK a lot because she used to be an air hostess, right? Whatever. But traveling to a country and staying there for a bit, but living there is a different thing.
100%.
And this is the biggest thing that I've been told, that I want to move away. I want to move. And that's what I always get. Yeah, but going to a country frequently, being there for a couple of weeks is one thing. But living there is another thing. And I had a privilege of staying in another country for a good couple of weeks. And we stayed in somewhere where my wife this is Germany. We stayed in somewhere where she used to live when she was younger, but it's not the area that I knew. And she said, I just want to stay there and see what it's like. It was the biggest eye-opener. Because I saw the country differently. I was walking down the street. I was going into banks. I was going into places that I wouldn't normally go to, and I was thinking, no, I'm kind of pretending to live the life there. And I saw a different Germany from the Germany that I was going to and having a good time and whatever. So I think that's something to think about as well.
100%.
Just a quick question. I just want to. Sorry, Mike. Sorry to cut you off. What would you let's just again, like you said, Anthony, it's going to be very different. We do glamorize it, I think. Thailand, of all the different places that I've been to, northern Thailand is kind of almost majestic for me. I love that place. But let me ask you a question. Do you know what you would miss about the UK? So it's almost like a reverse question of what are we grateful for about here? What would you miss about the UK? Either of you,
Well,
which one? What would you miss?
I was just going to say, infrastructure.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
If we're in play, some of these countries are very glamorous. Very I've been to some other countries which I'm not going, which the infrastructure is not that great. Do you know what I mean? So and we have to admit, all right, the NHS and things like that. Maybe it's not what it was, but we still have the NHS nevertheless. Do you know what I mean? The roads are still pretty much. We've got a transportation system. Could it be better? Yes, but we have a some form of transportation system. So all of these things, when I'm looking to where I'm going to go, all those creature comforts, if you like, they do play a part, particularly later on in life. You're going to probably rely. Healthcare is a big one for me.
Yeah.
Access to good quality healthcare, affordable good quality healthcare. That's a non-negotiable for me. So all of those boring things, if you like, I would miss big time.
Yeah,
it's true. I agree. I mean, I found out in Germany when I was over in Germany, the Wi-Fi is rubbish over there.
Yeah,
you think, where's that? There's so many things that I found out. I was like, wow, I never would have thought this was these are issues here.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that the country's bad. It's just the fact that there's things that you'd almost take for granted.
Absolutely.
Over here.
Absolutely.
But in another country, it's not something as the norm. I do miss my Wi-Fi. I won't lie.
Me too.
I do miss my national health. We're quite privileged to that. I think you also, very quickly, because before we go on to anything else, but you got to remember that the national health was not built for purpose what we is now. It was only built for a temporary after the war, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of factors that why the UK is now a certain way, but there's so many things that we've got that we're so privileged that when you go abroad, you realise, well, they don't have that, or they can't do that.
No, I like that, Anthony, and that's it's good because you've raised some bits that I know that I'm very grateful for. I mean, I've come back from many other countries and just thought, I'm home.
Yeah.
The minute that I kind of touched down in Heathrow or Gatwick, I was like, oh, thank goodness for that. So there are many things that I think we take for granted. I think, like you said, Mike, there's many things that could be better. And then the counter to that is, couldn't it always? Because there's never going to be a perfect system. It's never going to be, But I know that I've experienced through a friend of mine, I experienced the healthcare in Thailand, in northern Thailand when I went there. And again, I was only there for I think it was 7-8 weeks. But I've got to say, it was brilliant. The healthcare system there, it was great. There's no getting around it.
Was it free though?
£7.
Not free though.
Well, no, I just said that. £7. Sorry, Mike. Did I just say that?
No,
Mike, Anthony, did you hear me say £7?
Recorded. You can play this back later on.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, but my point is, we do have a free NHS, don't we?
Well, yes, we
well,
do.
Technically,
It's service.
it's not really free.
Well, you pay your national insurance, right?
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is that £7 to help my friend out, it done them the world of good. It was a really great service. But again, like you said, when it comes to travel and stuff like that, if you're out in the middle of nowhere in northern Thailand, you got to hope. You got to hope. You know, because you can imagine if it's a backwater place, chances of a tuk-tuk or a cab just going past you is going to be slim to none. There's no bus service, you know. So people like us. So there are those bits that I'm very grateful. Those creature comforts that you mentioned, Mike.
Yeah.
The fact of when we was last in Thailand, for example, when we stayed at that, we'll call it the Cheap and Cheerful. When I turned the tap on one morning, yeah, I thought it was a coffee dispenser. That was bad.
That was rough.
That was rough as houses. That was.
Ooh. Yeah.
And yet, because of our tight, I might go back there.
Me too. In a heartbeat.
But again, it's
what
that
we pay for it anyway.
But that togetherness, though, I'm going to say, I just find, especially in Thailand, and I'm talking northern Thailand, but especially in Thailand, I find that togetherness and that almost that their culture is very gentle. It's a very soft way of being. If I walk down the road in London, I mean, Anthony, you can look after yourself. So it's that bit of, if you're at the traffic lights, it's in a Ferrari, you don't have to rev the engine. But if I'm walking through South London and someone bumps my shoulder, I know that could be grief. I know that could be. All of my experiences in Thailand, if anything like that's happened in crowded places, there's turn around to each other, sorry, done. Both are doing exactly the same. We walk on smiling as if nothing's happened. It's almost like a lot of the people out there, they seem to leave their ego at home. That's my experience of people that I've noticed there. And that would be a big reason for me wanting to leave the UK, just because of the aggressive, it's all about me, it's just about me, and I will do something to you to get what I need, and and we seem to be in that kind of, oh well, no one's going to look after you anyway, so you might as well do it. I didn't see that in Thailand.
No, but where does all that come from, though?
Well,
It's a city. It's city life, though. So you'll find that in a lot of big cities. You'll find that in most big cities. You can go to Berlin. You can go to, like when I go to Athens, or you can go in. As soon as you go into a big metropolis of an area, and you put all these people together on top of each other, it changes. That's why when I go up north, when I drive up north, I literally, going back to that thing you said, I just feel like I want to hug everybody. It's such a different mentality.
Love it.
I'm not trying to say anything, but northern people have there is a different kind of view of life. They are really friendly. You talk to people, a stranger, like it means nothing. In the UK, in London, you talk to somebody, it's like, okay, weirdo, right? Okay, let me get my phone out just in case something happens. Do you know, it's that kind of mentality that we have in London, but in the
Has that happened a few times?
Well, a couple of times. I did get a bit close.
Yeah.
Running up and hugging people, strangers.
Well, yeah, it depends who you hug, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I've got to say, it's a really valid point, but I mean, we have to look at ourselves. For me, I have to look at myself within this. For example, I've expressed some of the mentality that I've grown up around. Now, so products of the environment, like you said, Mike. However, then when I go to Thailand and I don't experience that, so how much of that is down to me? That I'm recognizing because I'm alerted to this stuff. So now I'm on edge about this stuff. When I go to Thailand, my mindset says I'm going to have a beautiful, peaceful, lovely time. And every time I've gone, that's what I've had. When I go to London and go and visit you guys, for example, when I'm back on the motorway, there's a sense of, I'm waiting for the cursing. There's a sense of, oh, thank goodness I'm on the way on my way out of there. And I know it's the same for you, Mike. I will say it before you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is that element of, if I'm coming to see you guys, I know I'm going to have a nice chilled, it's going to be a togetherness. That's fine. If I'm going Brixton, going shopping, I'm on edge. So does that in itself attract that nonsense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've got to take some accountability and responsibility for that, I think.
But we're a product of our environments, aren't we?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we are.
We are. We're a product of our environment.
And
We're
can we
product-
change that? Is, I suppose, the following question from
You
that.
can try, but the problem
can we
is
change the environment, or can we change ourselves? We can't.
Ourselves.
The environment.
Ourselves.
You
We can, but nevertheless, the environment, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I'm going to be a bit... Okay, so I'm going to be a bit...
What?
What? PC?
PC? What? An Arsenal? What?
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Beard stroker.
If I change myself within that environment, doesn't that in and of itself change that environment somewhat? Because I've changed within it and I'm a part of it.
To a very small degree.
Yeah.
Minutia.
But is it...
Minutia.
What's the word?
Very small, minutia. The environment. So your change within the environment, are you saying that's going to have a huge effect on that environment? Is that what you're saying?
That's... I so much want to curse right. No, I didn't say that.
No, but that's what I don't know. Is that what you mean then? I don't know.
No, what I'm saying is, I'll just repeat myself. If I
Sorry,
change,
can I do this one?
if I change myself while I'm in that environment, doesn't the environment change a touch because I'm within it?
It changes somewhat, yes.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, but it's not going to influence the environment to change to any great deal, let's say. Do you know what I mean?
You can check yourself, right? You can, and you understand this. You can change yourself, and you can work on yourself, and you can view things slightly different. But your neighbour, if they haven't changed themselves, it doesn't make too much of a difference, because if you've got a neighbour that just an absolute whatever, right, and you go, hi, how are you, and they just like clear off, right, okay, you might think, okay, I'll just keep being like that. Some people just don't want it.
Yeah,
but in saying that, by doing that every single day, one day that person might say, do you know what, hi, how are you? Don't agree. I do agree with you, but it's more of a persistent, maybe.
Yeah, and I do get that it's a very glass half full kind of attitude.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But again, maybe because I haven't been glass half full and everyone in my environment hasn't been glass half full, that's why we are how we are within that environment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Michael says, yeah, okay, cool.
No, I was just trying to,
Yeah, okay, so... Things we've said about things that we're grateful for here, infrastructure, like you said, and I'm not taking a minute, like you said, there's certain creature comforts for you, like the internet, like being able to kind of just access where you want to be able to access. NHS, so there's and yes, are they all these elements kind of struggling? Yes, but as you said, Anthony, we're really quite privileged to have those.
We are.
We're in a really good situation here. We all want it to be better, of course we do. Like you said, Mike, I don't like the fact that there's a lot of elderly people that are so isolated.
Yeah.
Well, and not just elderly people.
That's really sad. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anything that you guys, because I'm aware of time, is there anything that you guys want to add to this? Is there any questions or anything?
No, I would just say, though, if people are planning or thinking of going to different places or to create a new possibility for themselves, it's about doing your due diligence. Do you know what I mean? Because going on vacation, as we all said, is one thing. Living in a country is another.
Yes.
So, you know, if you're going to take that leap of faith, do you know what I mean? Is just be informed about the decision that you're going to make. You know. Yeah. But I mean, but I suppose if this is going to still can be, if the UK is still going to be your base, and you want to spend a few months here, there, and everywhere, then that's fine. Because you've still got your base. I mean, because that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing, is keeping my natural base here, but being flexible what I do with the remaining months of the year. So I could decide to go and rent an apartment somewhere for 3 months in Spain or Ethiopia or whatever. Do you mean? Because that's fine. Do you mean? Yeah. Nice. So so I said just do your
research.
Do your research. But go on, Anthony.
Sorry, go on, Anthony.
The thing that I would miss is the nonsense from you, Mike, to be honest.
That can happen because you've got Wi-Fi. Well, hopefully where you go, you'll have Wi-Fi because that's quite...
But then also that thing about if you're in Thailand and you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere, that might actually be a plus.
For some, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
because you can't
Yeah.
contact me.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, the one thing I would take away from you, we've all got the same attitude. We all would love to move, right?
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
all love to have a base here, a base abroad, right? And I think if you were to really ask a lot of people, I think you'd probably get the same answers right now, especially the way that you. But I think the problem is the UK. If you were born here, if you live here, there's still parts of it that you miss, right? Whether you like it or not, right? And it's gonna be, and that's a natural thing. But I think what you said earlier, though, Nick, was true. As you get older, those kind of things change. You start thinking, well, actually, I like the good weather. I want a community where I walk down the road and you know, people smile and they almost, I can't even say that, but they have maybe respect for the elderly, because that's one big thing that I find in maybe in London so much, is the respect for the elderly is not as it should be. And it disgusts me a lot. And also the way that elderly people are discarded. And I agree with you. And when we talk about elderly, we're talking about people in that age has dropped. We're talking about people in your 40s. You're almost thrown away, oh, you're an old person now, you're 40. Right? And that's another subject I could talk to you now. It's all changed. So I think the respect and that sort of ideal that you can have a nice community and people respect and a smile, I don't see that's going to happen in London. But abroad, maybe you'll find that. But even still, you have to integrate into their system as well.
Yeah.
But no, I that's my take on it.
I like that.
So allow me to kind of finish by saying, yes, I would like both. However, finances obviously plays a massive part in this going to, because I've had a look into moving to Thailand. You have to have X amount of money in your pocket, in your bank. You have to have X amount going in. You have to be able to support yourself, etc., etc. I'm not financially in that position to be able to do that just yet. But if I could, now that my son is older, I'll be honest with you, how I'm feeling right now about the kind of the selfishness of individuals within this country that I recognise, and I'm talking about the powers that be, if you like. I'm talking about those ones, the political climate within here, and I don't care which of the two parties. I'm not talking about that, because they both talk the same nonsense as far as I'm concerned. I would be quite happy to live out there in north of Thailand and come here for a holiday for a few weeks and then go back. Not even have a base. I'll come here to an hotel and then go back there. That would suit me down to the ground. How I'm feeling at the moment. The one thing I do know is that could change. That thought process could change. In a week or two, I could say, well, actually, there's parts of this. But yeah, the political climate and what's going on here. And again, I'm not talking red or blue. I'm talking the nonsense that's being... Anyone can promise you anything, right? So for me, my bit is, I just... I would go in a heartbeat right now if I could afford to. Just can't afford to. So again, if that offer stands, Mike, and you're going to... Because I know how minted you are. If you want to pay for that, I'm off.
To get you out of the country?
Sawadee Cup.
It's a done deal.
Yeah, top man.
Absolutely.
Top man. Do you see what I mean about anyone can say anything, Anthony? And it just don't come through.
Sometimes I pretend I'm on mute.
Ready?
So do we.
Yeah.
But listen, just before we go, let me just say, Winston, love to you, bro.
Just on that Winston thing,
mate.
Yeah.
I've just got news from the practitioners. The personality transplant is completed.
Okay.
And
Oh wow, really?
absolutely. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a whole new person.
Oh God,
Personally.
really?
Yeah, it's done.
Well, gents, thank you very much. Peace and love. And Winston, love and respect, bro. Hope to see you in the next week or so.
Take care, brother.